Yeah, what we see is most people thinking about revenue protection, RP, at a pretty high coverage level, and staying there this year is probably a pretty good place to be. With all the uncertainty surrounding tariffs and all those other things, you might continue to think about having a pretty high coverage level on revenue protection policy, which most farmers are taking 80 to 85%. Sticking there, even though we haven't seen many payments in recent years, probably still is a good place to be. Again, we have a lot of uncertainty as far as the price side, and sticking right there. The other thing that they may want to think about is ECO, enhanced coverage option, and that just provides a risk protection band from 80 to 85% down to, 90 to 95% down to 86%. They might want to consider that this year because the premium on that has come down a lot. Again, I think that's a touch and go situation, but if we're concerned about price declines, it might be a good place to be.
Price declines from maybe lack of tariffs and lack of, or because of tariffs and lack of exports and lack of sales overseas and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that is a concern. Obviously, you know, we are in a tariff or a trade situation that's a bit fluid. I'm not making any projections there, but see what, that is a way of protecting oneself at this point in time. I guess I would steer away from SCO because that requires you to make a PLC choice. And I and that's a commodity title choice that has to be made by April 15th. And when we look at the numbers, we sort of lean towards Ark County for soybeans, heavy lean for soybeans, pretty significant lean for corn and wheat. Most of those two, Ark County has a much higher benchmark price than the effective reference price, so sticking there seems like a good place to be.
We're seeing a lot of uncertainty about farm income because of tariffs. Chances of, well, getting down below cost of production, I'm assuming by the end of the year. So, how would you advise folks to at least skate as easily as they can and protect themselves as much as possible?
Yeah, so we sort of think that with that this year could look a lot like last year. So just sort of pencil put that into your mind. So it's a conservation environment of all financial reserves. So don't be making capital purchases that we don't need or anything of that nature, and that will continue for a while. We're in a what looks to be a lower price environment. So, and there's a pretty good chance that we'll be below our cost of production. So maybe we'll see some sort of another ad hoc payment, but we'll see.
There's going to be an awful lot of probably push in Congress for those ad hoc payments, and we may end up seeing a whole bunch of those for the next couple of years, even.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. We'll have to wait and see where all the budget considerations flow out of that. But there's, the last year's economic assistance payments, which haven't been received yet, but the Secretary of Agriculture says they're working hard to get those out. Something along that line may happen again, but there's no guarantees of anything at this point in time. Those payments occur year to year and are based on political will.